Have you ever hired a coach or a consultant or invested in a course and it's just gone wrong? Find out what to do to make sure that never happens again today. Hey y'all, I'm Kendrick Shope, creator of Authentic Selling, the #1 sales process for your business, which allows you to get more customers, make more money, and have the freedom to live the life you want to live. For tactical, practical, proven, strategic sales solutions that work for your business, ring the bell and subscribe. At some point during your online career, you will hire a coach, consultant, or course creator. It's just gonna happen. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it's probably gonna happen more than once because this industry is so incredibly full of amazing dynamic people from which we can all learn. However, there are times when you will have an experience that doesn't end so well. And if you've ever had an experience like that, you want to ensure that it never, ever, ever happens again. So here are 3 things you can do before you hire your next coach. Let's consider them best practices. Number 1, instead of asking yourself, is this the most affordable thing? Ask yourself, is this the right thing? Oftentimes in the industry, a lot of experts will use the educational sell, which means that you get on a webinar and they talk about a problem and they show you all the things that can go wrong when you have this problem. And you're like, aha! I know why my business isn't working now. And then they have a product to solve the problem. Well, you may not have even been aware before you got on the webinar that the problem exists. And so really before you hire a coach, think through, what problem am I trying to solve? Again, we go out and we may have a budget that we're trying to stick within, but there is no point in paying $99 for a course that isn't going to solve your problem or is going to solve some secondary problem. So instead of saying, can I afford this? Ask yourself, is this the right thing? We always too often jump to money. Can't afford it. It's going to be too expensive. And we need to know, does this solve my problem? The second thing you can do before you hire your next coach, and I am amazed at how many coaches and consultants don't do this. So coaches and consultants, you should be doing this too, is especially in your private coaching, but also in your courses, and I'll tell you how we do this, have people set expectations. Look, it is a win-win if you write down what you want to get before we ever start, and then when you finish, you have gotten what you expect to get. How amazing is that? Lots of times people forget. They come in a really bad place and they want A, B, and C, and they get A straight out of the gate, and then they're like, but I wanted D, E, and F. And that's just human nature. There's nothing wrong with people. They're not being mean. They're not being catty. That's just human nature. So a way to ensure that you get what you want and that your coach delivers on their promises is to have some clear expectations. So if you're working one-on-one with someone, you ask them, as a result of our coaching, what are the 3 things you want to learn? Or what's the 1 thing you want to learn? You can also do this in courses. So in Authentic Selling University, we have students email us, as a result of your investment in Authentic Selling University, what are the 3 things you expect to learn for your time? And if people write in something that we don't teach, then we email them back and say, hey, I know that you want to learn Facebook ads, but we don't teach ads in this class. So let's address that before the class ever starts. This is so incredibly helpful because in one-on-one coaching, we're constantly doing number 3 thing you need to do before you hire a coach, or as you hire a coach, which is review the expectations. So if you set the expectations before call 1 or on call 1, every subsequent call, you can say, all right, as a result of our coaching, you wanted to learn number 1, number 2, number 3. Last week, we tackled number 1. This week we're going to tackle number 3. Next week we're going to tackle number 2. You can also do this in your course, in your recordings. You can say before every class, review the 3 things that you wanted to get. This week we're going to learn how to have a sales call that converts. If you wanted to learn about sales calls, this is your week. I cannot tell you how much drama this is going to prevent by having clear expectations with yourself and with your coach, consultant, or course creator. So 3 best practices when you hire the coach is, instead of asking yourself, can I afford this? Or is the price right? Ask yourself, is this the right thing? Does this solve my problem? The second thing to do is to set clear expectations. As a result of my time investment and my financial investment in this product, in this service, here's what I expect to get. I'll give you an example. These little suckers are expensive, right? By God, I expect it to make a phone call. Like, I don't have to write that down. I expect it to be able to send a text message. I expect it to be able to surf the internet. If I buy a brand new phone and it can't do those things, I am taking it back. So you set expectations for coaching and consulting and courses and one-on-one coaching the same way. These are the 3 things I expect to learn. Now, if you write down, I want to learn how to make $10 million, making it rain, then you and your coach might need to have a conversation about, can they promise that? And I don't know, that's between you and your coach. The third best practice to consider before you hire your next coach is, how will you check in on those expectations? So review them. If it's a course, then write them down. These are the 3 things I expected to learn. And this week we learned none of them. But the next week we learned 2 of them. The third week we didn't learn any of them, but the final week we learned the final thing. Check, this has been a success. Or review them with your coach at the top of every call. Hey, Kendrick, I wanted to learn how to get more people on my list. Doesn't look like we've talked about that yet. Just want to make sure that we're going to incorporate that into our coaching. These 3 best practices will change your relationship with bad coaching, because it won't happen. And that's not fair. It might happen. But if you get a bad coach, you will have set expectations early on about what you expect, and they cannot act surprised. For more tactical, practical, strategic, proven sales solutions, ring the bell, subscribe below, and never miss an update. And if you didn't know it, I believe in you and I believe in your business.